Welcome to SDN Tech Forum. In this final SNMP video, I'm going to talk about SNMP v3. We will discuss an SNMP version 3 overview and the config flow, how it is configured, the different configuring object, and then I'm going to show you a demo how to configure SNMP v3 on a Cisco router, and we will monitor the SNMP output. SNMP version 3, it is similar to other base protocols like SNMP version 1 and 2. Only thing which is different or stand out is it introduces encryption and authentication. So two security mechanism it is introducing: encryption and authentication. Authentication is used to ensure that traps are read only by intended recipient. That means the SNMP data is received by authentic source, and privacy is about encryption. So all the SNMP messages, the payload is encrypted. That means there is no interception on the wire or from sender to receiver. So these are like two security enhancement on SNMP v3. SNMP v3 security model, you will see more when we start configuring that, but there are three security model: no auth, no priv, which is as good as SNMP version 1 and 2. That means there is no authentication, no privileges. But if you want to use SNMP v3, I'm sure you don't want to use this kind of security model. Second is auth but no priv. Auth no priv. We call it auth no priv. That means there will be authentication, but there is no encryption. And the final and most secure is auth priv. That is authentication and encryption together. So how you configure SNMP v3? SNMP v3 configuration sometimes can be a little confusing. I like to break it down in like three different groups. So first thing what you would want to define is SNMP view. So you are restricting the MIB or OED what you want to see with the SNMP view configuration. So you can be very granular, like you only want to see a particular interface or all the interfaces. So you can be really granular with your MIBs and OID, or you can be like really generous, or you can define it on very high level. As you will see in my video demo, I'm using the top level OID, which is ISO or internet. Then once you define your view, you define your SNMP groups and assign permission. So you are defining your SNMP group and calling view under it, and then you provide permissions for that view, whether it's a read only or write also, and also you can apply ACL on top of that. Then finally you define your SNMP v3 user and assign it to the group. Now you define your SNMP v3 user and assign it to a group. And once you assign it to the group, that means the view associated will also come into effect. And when you define your SNMP user, that time only you define your auth and priv keys. So now let's see how your configuration looks like. So configuration is pretty simple. Three blocks as I shown you, same three things: SNMP server view, I named it as all view, and ISO is the high level MIB, so I'm saying ISO included. Then SNMP server group, so you define a group. Just for demo, I call the group Avengers. Privilege is read privilege is all view, write privilege is all view. And then you define your SNMP server user. So Iron Man is my user. I'm associating that with the Avenger group. It's a v3 user. Authentication type SHA, and then this is a password basically, so ignore that. You can define your own password. And then I have privilege. So for encryption, I'm using AES based encryption, 128 bit key, and this is my password. So now let's go and see how we can configure this thing in route. So let me bring a Cisco router here. I have it configured already, but let me SNMP server view, all view, SNMP server group, v3, privileges, read privilege for this view and write privilege for this view. And now let me define the SNMP user. So I'm going to say v3 security model I want to use, and then authentication is SHA because that's more secure. So I'll show you why I'm doing this configuration live. What is the purpose of that? Then what else you want to see? Privilege. So I can support AES, DES, 3D DES, but I would like to go with AES. It's more secure. And 128 bit encryption and the password. If you want, you can actually define a ACL also to restrict that, but I don't want to define any ACL. So 3 lines of config. Let me check again what I have for a SNMP. So you can see I have group and view. These are the some traps. Ignore the trap config, and you can see it ends here. There is nowhere you can find your SNMP v3 user defined. So it is masked actually. You won't see, once you configure, you won't see it on the router itself. All right, now let me bring a PRTG. And before I go to PRTG, let me show you what is the IP address we are going to use to discover this device or reach this device. So this is the IP address we are going to use because my PRTG is in this subnet. 192.168.61.1. So now let me bring PRTG, and I have already defined my device. So 192.168.61.1, and you can see that I have already applied some SNMP. Already some SNMP sensors are loaded. So ping is okay, SNMP system. This is the sensor I attach and it is working. So let's go and check what I have under settings. So I say device name is 192.168.61.61 and status started, IPv4. So this is the standard PRTG config. I want to discover using IPv4. I gave my IP address here. You can choose your tag. I have chosen Cisco as a tag, and device is, you can do automatic or manual. Okay, I did automatic because I wanted to do a discovery, and this is the tab where I am interested in. So SNMP version is v3, authentication is SHA, user Ironman, password, sorry, it's a little sensitive here. You define your username and password, then your encryption key, AES, and then encryption. I'm using standard port 161 and SNMP. So whatever we configured on a router, I have the similar configuration available here at PRTG, and then I have some sensor associated with that. So you can see that I have one SNMP sensor up, which is system uptime, and it is showing me what is my system uptime, which shows me 14 days. So this device is up for 14 days, and we can verify that going back to the device itself. So let me go back to the router, and I'm just gonna do show version. Want to see the uptime. You can see uptime for this device is 2 weeks 7 hours. So SNMP report display in days. That is why it says 2 weeks equal to 14 days. So this is how you can configure SNMP v3. This is more secure and more reliable. So I hope, and everything is moving to SNMP v3 nowadays. So I hope you understand the SNMP v3 now and you feel comfortable configuring it. So